What's up, world? You are in tune to Marvelous Talk again. You got your boys, Big Dame. What's up, Dame?
What's cracking, man? Go Astros. We gonna do it
Yeah,
tonight. I
man.
don't know where they were the other night, but they gonna do it
They
tonight.
they were hiding in the dressing room, I guess. And we also had Big G. Big G, what's popping, man?
Man, it's a countdown to them internals, man. I'm ready to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
I'm with it. And also, we have a special guest of the program, one of my partners who knows a lot about the subject that we talk about, Marvelous Talk. Max, what's popping, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm recovering from that Go Astros remark. I threw up in my mouth a little because when you
Wow.
support a cheating team, I almost don't want to believe anything you say. But I'm
Uh,
gonna let Damon have this one chance. Okay.
hey man, they the hometown. I
Wow.
gotta go with my hometown, bro. Sorry.
You got to
Okay,
go
I'll,
with the
I'll go with it then.
hometown. Listen, but before we get into this week's Marvelous Talk, man, we are definitely going to get into this. And once again, we're back, man. Listen, the Eternals embargo has been lifted. We can now talk about and review the Eternals. And a lot of the reviews that we got, man, and a lot of the people who were reviewing it is saying that this movie, more than most, is multi-layered and that we're going to have to see it a whole bunch of different times to kind of get collectively the point of this movie. I was speaking with Max, and Max was kind of like, "Duh, who, Marvel movies being multi-layered, wow, you know." But and I guess I'll start there. I guess I'll start with you, Max. If they're saying a lot of the people who are saying that it's multi-level, are saying that it has the propensity to pull you down one way, and then you miss totally what's being said on another front. How do you feel about that? And then how do you feel about the reviews that you've been reading on the Eternals?
Well, I think when it comes to the multi-layered thing, when you bring in what six or let's say like 10 new characters just to be conservative, of course people are going to be all split. I want to see what's going on with my boy Rob Stark or maybe Angelina Jolie or Selma Hayek. It's obviously on point in so many directions. And from the reviews I've been reading, I've been seeing a mixed bag. But I feel like so many times with the Marvel movie, you can't just take it like by itself. You got to realize this is setting up the next phase. And this Marvel movie, especially, is bringing in a whole new group like the Celestials, just the Eternals themselves. It is just, you can't just look at it as a one off movie. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I think a lot of the people kind of misinterpreting as like it's kind of got a long story or the story's not that great. Well, it's like, how can it be that great? It's setting up like 8 movies.
In
So it's kind
one
of hard to
in
say.
one at one time, yeah, definitely. Dame, I heard you when we were talking about it. You used the word dense. You said that you kept hearing the word dense. Talk to me about that, man, and kind of share with me what you think they mean by multi-level and it being very deep or dense.
Well, to echo what Max was saying, man, I mean, I go back to when we had Guardians of the Galaxy. No one really knew. I mean, the comic book heads knew of Guardians of the Galaxy, but it was a brand new franchise. So you had new characters, you had new storylines, new situations. We had never been to space in Marvel before Guardians of the Galaxy. That led us into the interstellar aspect of Marvel. So in the same way here with the Eternals, we're dialing the clock back to kind of the beginnings of the MCU. You know what I'm saying? And I think for one thing, that's going to set up to be an amazing story. And the fact of the matter is, you got to look at the director. Okay, this is Chloe Zhao, so a lot of people are expecting a typical Marvel movie. Though I know we're probably going to see some iterations and things that make us feel like it's a Marvel movie. But this is a lady that won the Oscar last year for Best Director. You know what I'm saying? So she has an eye that I don't think we've seen in other directors, and she's bringing that to this movie. So, but that and the fact of what Max said, we got 10 brand new characters that we're seeing for the first time. So it's a lot. I mean, I think they probably could have done this movie in maybe 2 parts. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it. The fact that you got an excellent filmmaker and you got a brand new storyline and characters to introduce.
Very good points, man. Very good points you got. And with Big G, man, I don't want to just ask you that question, right? With you, I know that when it comes down to it, the comic book aspect and actually tying and marrying this whole thing in, it's almost like they had to come from a whole total different direction, isn't it, Sean? Because there's so many different ways they could have attacked the story. Talk to me about that.
Well, the issue is that what other Marvel movie could give you past, present, and future with the MCU and tie a comic book origin back into reboot, basically, or add to stage or phase 4 of the MCU? Nobody else could do it but the Eternals, because they're going to tie to so many subplots and so many sub-characters. Everything from the origin of Atlantis, which is tied directly to the Deviants. They're going to talk about the planet Olympia, which in the comic book, they're from Olympus or Olympia. So they're confused like as Greek gods. And even more like the whole Dean Whitman Black Knight character that's going to come to life right on the MCU. And not to mention that these cats have not told us everything. If they've been willing to leak out this stuff, can you imagine what we're going to see? Now, I ain't saying you're going to see Wolverine pop up on the screen with some claws talking about seeing, that ain't happening. But what's going to happen is you're going to get the backdrop or the backlay for where mutants actually come from. And so all of that tied in together, it's a 2-hour and 40-minute plus runtime. I mean, come on, man. They're going to lay some stuff out and give us a subtle story about the Eternals, which I'm quite sure we're going to see them cats pop up all the way through Avengers 5.
Yeah.
The crazy thing about that, and I'm not sure that all of these characters will survive this movie, to be honest with you. I'm not sure that all of the characters, because we can't carry them into where we're heading. And, where we're heading is, Spider-Man No Way Home, right? So we're definitely heading into this. And the thing about Spider-Man No Way Home is Spider-Man now has to carry Loki. It has to carry, the previous Spider-Man. It's having to even carry now Venom. There's so many different movies that is having to carry and to springboard us into the Doctor Strange movie, right? So, being that the Eternals is right there in front of, and Dame said something about the director, this is now what I want to talk about with Spider-Man No Way Home. The director of Spider-Man No Way Home is Sam Raimi. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What other movie did Sam Raimi end up directing?
The first two, actually, did he do the third one too?
He did all 3. He did
all
the best. He did the best one, which is Spider-Man 3. I think we're all in agreement
Yeah.
that was the best Spider-Man movie.
So get this.
Yeah.
If this is almost like we brought this guy in, Kevin Feige is a genius. He knows what he's doing. Me and G say this all the time. Kevin Feige is a genius. Why would you bring Sam Raimi in? Oh, and Sam Raimi is also directing Doctor Strange as well. So why would you bring this man in if he didn't get an opportunity to reboot his movies and make them better? So let me ask you guys, and I want you to go. Here's the order, because I need this for our explanation. The order is going to be Dane, Max, and then Big G. And after each one of you get through talking, the other one go. Pass the mic. Here's the deal. So, Dane, tell me, do you believe that we are going to see all 3 Spider-Men? And do you believe that we're going to see a reboot of that whole Spider-Man universe in order to bring all of these other villains in?
Okay. So I don't know if you gentlemen know about this issue of Empire magazine that just came out.
Yeah.
So
is it out already, Dane? Did they drop it? Let it go?
I think it comes out Monday. I believe it comes out Monday, but they've already leaked some of the images in it. And they introduced in this article the fact that they're going to have 2 villains, that they named 2 more of the villains, which we thought we saw in the trailer. You know, that original trailer, we thought we saw snippets of it, but it's confirmed from this article that the Sandman that was in Spider-Man 3, that same actor is going to be in the movie, and the Dr. Connors from the Amazing Spider-Man, who was the Lizard. Both of those 2. So now we have a total of 5. If you count Jamie Foxx, if you count Alfred Molina, who was the Doc Ock, we know that the Green Goblin, William Dafoe, he's going to be. So we have 5, but we still don't know who that 6th person is of the Sinister Six. So to answer Ahmad's question, if they're bringing in all these villains, there's no way in HE double hockey sticks that Tom Holland by himself as Spider-Man is going to be able to fight all these dudes. So that's why I think you're going to see all of them together. I don't know for how long of a duration, but I believe you're going to see, if they bring in at least, now we know 5, there's got to be a 6th one to make the Sinister Six. You can't have them without having all 3 of those Spider-Men. And they are calling, that's one more thing. They are saying that this Spider-Man movie in this article, they're saying is the end game of the Spider-Man series.
Wow.
So,
Max.
Just building off what Damon said, he made some excellent points. I wonder this about the Spider-Man Homecoming, whatever it's called. The name just escapes me at this moment. Do you think the Spider-Man will be different power levels if we see all 3? Do you think Tobey Maguire will be a better Spider-Man than Tom Holland? Because in the comics, they always talk about Spider-Man's maturing in high school. Like, he's going to get stronger as his body develops. So do you think that'll come into play?
Man, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I just thought of it right now. I hadn't even prepared it. But just saying what you were saying about how they're bringing back everybody. And with Sam Raimi, they're even getting him back from the other MCU or the other Sony-verse movies. And I think he's got I think he wants to get it right. We all know Spider-Man 3 was trash. I made a joke earlier about how it was the best one. But anytime you got the guy from 70 Show playing Venom and Spider-Man dancing with his crotch everywhere, it's not a good movie. I'm just going to come out and say it.
You know you were doing those dances.
I'm not going to lie. I tried to become Bully Maguire as he's doing on YouTube. There's like a whole – because, I mean, I will say y'all are a lot more seasoned than me. I don't know how old Dame is, but you two fossils. And I mean that with the most respect. There's like a whole culture about how Bully Maguire's in
most respect.
You're seasoned. I'll say you're seasoned vets in the game. Like, but there's like a whole like YouTube series about how Bully Maguire from that dance scene is in other movies. Like they put him in Star Wars and stuff. So like people love this guy, even though it was atrocious. But I think Sam Raimi wants to get it done right. He's like, they had plans for Spider-Man 4. I know we all heard about it back in the day in 2008, how they're bringing in the Lizard. They were going to bring in everybody, Mysterio. They had Bruce Campbell be 3 different characters in all the movies setting up Mysterio. That's a little like that's ahead of its time thinking right there for a Sony movie.
Right.
I think he's out to get it right, Sam Raimi. I think he's going to do a good job.
And when the first 2, he killed the first 2.
Yeah, did great. That was my Spider. We all were so hyped for that. That was our first Spider-Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to your point, Max, real quick before we get to G, Miles Morales as Spider-Man, his powers grew as he got older, right? Mm-hmm. So, and all of the comic books now going to G, didn't we see as Peter Parker got older, he started doing more things within the actual Spider-Man power set or skill set? Big G, kind of take it away from here, man.
Because the reason why you saw that is because Spider-Man is not a mutant, but he's a mutate. What happened is in the comic book, Spider-Man was bitten by a radioactive spider. We all know that. But his body continued to develop as the DNA of the radioactive spider enhanced his body. So it's just like as he grew, his powers grew. That was just part of the Spider-Man lore or the Spider-Man lingo. But the issue is, and I'm gonna make a reference point back to what Dane was saying. In that Empire magazine, if you read down at the bottom, a little small fine print, it says that you're going to see a combination of Spider-Man reliving his past lives.
Yeah.
So how in the world is this guy going to relive his past lives other than to bring everything full circle all at once? including the Sinister Six and everybody he's ever battled. And now we know for sure Venom's going to be tied to this thing some kind of way. Along with, you still got Scorpion, you still got Vulture. These are enemies that's hanging out there that we know is coming into the Spider-Verse in some capacity. So when the comparison about the whole Endgame thing is more or less saying this is the culmination of all the Spider-Mans put back together. And yeah, maybe you might get a hard reboot with a new character moving forward like Miles Morales. However, I'm going to say this, and I've been saying this all along about the Spider-Man thing. This is either going to be the biggest touchdown to win the Super Bowl of all time, and they're going to have to close shop everywhere else, including Sony and everything else, because Marvel's going to have it on lockdown. Or this is going to be like the biggest blown lead in history of whatever.
So this is the Falcons. This is the Falcons.
This is either going to be the Atlanta Falcons, or this is going to be like the greatest catch ever or run in ever for Marvel to score the touchdown and lock the doors, Katie bar the doors, not just lock them, Katie bar the doors for all time with nobody else having no chance. Because y'all know DC's trying to put up a head of steam by dropping all that little stuff about Black Adam, which actually looks to be real good. But however, MCU's trying to, see what they're going to do. It's on them to win or lose, but we're going to see.
DC is like the second grade version of Marvel. They haven't even figured out. They can't even get like 2 movies right in a row.
No,
right. Can I just say one quick question? I don't know if we have time, but if the first few Spider-Man movies, I'm talking about the Tobey Maguire and the Andrew Garfield, weren't bad, say they were really good, would we be at the point we're at now? Because I feel like if those movies were good, we wouldn't be revisiting them. I feel like those
absolutely
being bad
not.
kind of just worked out.
I don't think that we would be. I think they would have held firm, and people would have wanted to see more from Spider-Man. But when Marvel gets it, man, it's in the tuxedo. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody else get it. It's in some slacks and a button-down shirt, looking like you're going to Home Depot.
Yeah,
when Marvel gets it, it's a whole other different thing, man.
If you look at the polls of when they've asked people who is their favorite iteration of Spider-Man, resoundingly you hear Tom Holland, because like Amar said, Marvel put their touch on it. They had the people that had the information about the comic, and I'm glad they did something that I don't know. Even Andrew McGar, I always get his name wrong, but the Amazing Spider-Man. They decide every time they want to Andrew Garfield, they want to reboot it and show us Uncle Ben and all that. I love how with Tom Holland, they didn't even show us none of that. They just assumed that we knew it already. And so they could get ready and just get him right into action. And that's what the people wanted. And the 2 movies that he's done have been excellent. You know what I'm saying? So I'm banking on the success that they've had in these previous movies. I can't see them making a movie that's weaker than the other 2. I just can't see it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm betting on the fact that I think it's going to be a blockbuster.
So here's my thing. I really believe at some point somebody's dying. One of the Spider-Men are gonna die. I kind of think after getting a whiff of the plot leak, they don't say it, but they lead it on. I kind of think it's going to be Tobey Maguire's character. He's the oldest one. I think they're going to put him to rest.
I can see that.
I think they're definitely going to put him to rest. And then that opens the door for, guess who? Miles Morales. And we've been talking about that.
I'm telling y'all, if he ain't in the movie, I'm going to be mad.
I don't know if he's going to be in the movie, but I know that moving forward, I think they're going to bring him into our universe in a live iteration, in a live form. And I'm happy for that. And speaking of the plot leaks, and Dame, I'm glad you brought up that picture. One thing that I was going to actually share that picture, but they said they're going to be very stringent in the next couple of days. I'm pulling down images that from that actual article and interview, and I didn't want us to be one of them. You know what I mean? And they coming for it and then just yanking it down. So
hey, fellas, I got another thing I just want y'all to think about. I think this movie is as big a plot for Spider-Man as it is the villains. Because I'm telling y'all, the character Norman Osborn is huge moving forward with the direction of MCU.
Well,
Norman Osborn is a thunderbolt, y'all. I mean, I don't know, and he's like majorly tied into the all everything. So this is big for the villains too, man.
I believe you're onto something, G. But we've been on it when we start talking about the anti-hero and how everything was going and how they were going to be bringing and switching the gift. Nothing is switching the gears. Nothing is just black and white anymore. They wanted to create some type of shades of gray, which is why you've got it in every little sitcom that we've had leading up to all of these great movies that we're about to get. But what I was gonna say, as far as the plot leak and everything is concerned, we had to get some type of explanation for Doctor Strange, right? Because the misinformation that they've been giving us in the trailers just didn't look right. You know, it didn't look right. It looked like they was trying to throw us off. It looked like they were trying to mislead us, you know. And then we saw in the very beginning with Zendaya and Tom actually were going down the hallway of this crypt-looking place. We know that was the Sanctum, right?
Yes, the basement.
But they kind of erased the fact that all three, Ned, her, and Spider-Man were all there at the same time. They erased that from the trailer. They just had it looking like Tom came in and was, you know, he remembered Doctor Strange. How can you forget Doctor? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? So here's this thing where I feel like we've been given misdirections, and this interview and the second trailer is going to kind of open the world up and bring the real hype in. What do you guys feel about that? You think that we're actually going to, with this interview that we're about to see, and with this second trailer that we're about to get on the Eternals, do you guys think that this is going to open up the floodgates and give us, you know, finally the reveal of the three Spider-Mans? I'll start with you, Dave.
I think it would be smart. I think marketing-wise, for them to sell the movie, they can just allude to it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just something just to let people say, oh, it might be there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if you're gonna reveal all of these villains, man, come on. I mean, I just think it's smart marketing just to go ahead and not make it such a big secret. Because, like G was saying about Eternals, man, the trailers and things that we've seen, the Eternals, I can only imagine what the movie's gonna be like. So it's like all of the mystery and hidden stuff, man. Let it out. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take. I think if they were smart marketing wise, just give the people something to think about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you think about this, Big G?
Well, I mean, listen, the whole thing for this beginning part of Phase 4 is all about the multiverse. What character crossed over both sides in both Sony and MCU? Spider-Man. So you got to have the crossover with the characters from both sides, because this whole phase is really about variants, multiverse, changing history, switching stories, giving new backdrop, introducing new versions of other characters. So without that central theme, it would be like a bust if they didn't bring the other two Spider-Man into it. You know, now I disagree with Dame a little bit about the marketing strategy, right? So sometimes you win by anticipation. And I think that they're going to hold out as long as they possibly can. And then finally they're going to let it, and then everybody's going to be, oh, we got to go see all the Spider-Man on screen. You know, if the whole phase is about multiverse and then bringing people in, and, you know, because you got to remember, we got to go get Wanda Maximoff's kids. You know, so you know, Kang, or the one above all, already done told you, man, you think I'm bad, wait till my variant shows up. You see what I'm saying? So if they're going to do that with those characters who just got introduced, why would they not do it with one of the biggest characters in Marvel, which is Spider-Man?
Oh, little tidbit real quick. Have y'all been seeing any of the rumbling about Jonathan Majors? They filming Ant-Man right now, man, and they say that the cast, they like blown away by his performance as Kang.
Yeah.
I totally believe that. I was blown away by his 15 minutes in Loki.
Yeah. Yeah.
They say he's nothing. He said, I am not the character you saw in Loki. Throw that out. I am nothing like that in this movie. So I'm like, oh my goodness.
Of course, you know, I mean, he's a great actor. He's a great actor. And Max, go ahead, man. What do you think about our subject we were just talking about?
I want to say what Dame said. I want to just push back 100%. I think this movie, the bigger the secret, the better it is. People want the forbidden stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's a show I used to watch called Young Pope, and the whole theme of the show is like he's the Pope, right? He doesn't want to be seen. He wants there to be mystique in the air. It's like, who is that guy? I want to get a peek at that. Yeah. So I think, and obviously in the 21st century, it's near impossible. And I would add with Tom Holland, who is just who can't keep a secret if his life depends on it. I don't know if they have the technology to do the mind wipe for Men in Black, but we need to get Tom Holland that right now. Right now. I mean, he wasn't even allowed to read the script to Endgame for a reason.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he's as bad as Andrew Garfield, but okay.
I think the bigger the secret, the better the movie's going to be. And you get that mystique. You're going to have people saying, what is this? Like, I want to go see it. Oh, I heard something. Like, obviously, it's impossible because once that first group of fans sees it, they're going to ruin it for everybody. Right. It's just the nature of the beast. But I wish just for it, like when Endgame came out, I turned off all my notifications on Instagram and said, I don't want to see nothing about this movie. Yeah. Because obviously, we all know they're coming back. We're not children. Right. Yeah. It would have been kind of nice to be a kid and be like, are they really coming back? But that's just like the nature of knowledge. You don't have that innocence. And I feel if we can just keep the mystique about this movie, it's going to be amazing. And for me, this is a correction movie for the other two Spider-Man. Now, I know y'all have seen X-Men Days of Future Past. In my opinion, that's one of the greatest. I think that is the greatest X-Men movie they ever made.
I agree.
They somehow fixed all of the awfulness. And then as soon as they fixed it, they were like, oh, let's make it awful again. But I wonder if this can be as impactful for the other two Spider-Man franchises as what X-Men should have been. They just ruined it. Yeah. They found the perfect way to reset it.
Yeah. So we fixed it and made it horrible again.
Am I wrong though? He's absolutely right. Those other two movies.
Look at Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. Look at Apocalypse.
I didn't even see Dark Phoenix. I was not even going to see that trash.
And then the spinoff of Dark Phoenix was the New Mutants, which was like probably the worst.
Oh my God,
that was all comic book movie history.
That show came on.
It was horrible.
Or that was a movie. I didn't even see it that either. I was like, I can't.
Listen, I didn't watch. I didn't watch it. I could tell by the smell. It just. I mean, it had a smell and a stench to me. Just by looking at it.
Theater, didn't they just release it straight to DirecTV because they kept hyping it up? I think it just came to HBO Max or something.
And it didn't last that long on there. They had it like for a hot second, and it was like, nah, this gotta go, man.
The stench of it was horrible. I couldn't do it.
That was the movie that put the nail in the coffin with them getting Fox back, Marvel, Disney buying it. That was like we got y'all now. Garbage garage sale prices.
Fire sale. Let's get it out and get it over with. But so you guys, man, we got that. We got the Eternals. We got Spider-Man No Way Home. We also have coming Hawkeye. Now, I keep seeing commercials for it. If you've been watching the World Series, you've been seeing commercials. And they pushed it back, right? It was supposed to originally be starting here pretty quick. Do you know, is it still starting in November or is it going to be in December?
It's the week of Thanksgiving, the 24th. I think the 24th.
The original date was November the 12th, but they pushed it back to like the 24th, the actual week of thing, because there's only 5 episodes. Right, and there's only 5 episodes. That's it.
I talked to some people. They wanted to push back even more. Truthfully,
really?
I'm sorry. No, I'm not up for Hawkeye. I was up for everything else. Hawkeye, I'm like the least up for. You know, I can't get up to watch a guy who I could be if I just put some time in. You know, I just need a quiver, and I'm halfway there.
You need 3 months. You need 3 months in the gym.
3 months and a bad attitude and a bad haircut.
And a bow and arrow.
And I need to go hide my family in Kansas.
And he's going down. He's going down.
Well, on the serious tip, though, I've heard some rumblings that this series is important for several reasons. Yeah. It's going to connect us to what could be possibly the reboot of some of the Daredevil characters. There's rumblings that Vincent D'Onofrio, who played Kingpin in the Netflix Daredevil, is going to make an appearance.
Yeah.
So if he's in there, that's telling us that we're going to probably see Matt Murdock, because there's been rumblings that they're going.
We already know we're going to get him in that movie. I without a shadow of a doubt, I know we're getting him in the Spider-Man movie.
So
right.
So the rabbit hole rumor about the Hawkeye series is they're going to introduce Heroes for Hire. That's the rabbit hole introduction of the whole aspect of Marvel heroes who are anti-heroes, which we've been talking about. What is bigger than an anti-hero than somebody you can buy off and pay for to go and do some stuff for you, like a mercenary? So the rumblings is that the Hawkeye series is going to introduce Heroes for Hire into the MCU, which is some of those low-ball characters.
Sean, Big G, that makes a lot of sense. You want to know why? Let's go back to what we just saw with Black Widow. Where did all of these villains come from in this jail, in the prison? So all of them are here in the prison. You don't mean to tell me some of them ain't Heroes for Hire? You know what I mean?
Well, I think that movie had a different spin that I think is going to pay off way later on up the road, because I think you're going to see the Soviet super soldiers. I really do believe Ursa Major, Crimson Dynamo, all Black Star, they are Vanguard, they all going to show up on the screen. But I think that the Heroes for Hire is going to give us that whole, because there's nothing bigger, really, if you really know the comic books, right? And you start talking about Earth-based heroes and Earth-based villains, there's nothing bigger than New York City. So New York City has got more thugs and heroes and villains that you can shake a stick at. So what other thing could they do than outside of just give Hawkeye a little 5-spin series, get you pumped up all the way to Christmas when Spider-Man jumps off, and then say, okay, we're going to build out that New York character, like Dame said with like the Daredevil and the Kingpin. They're going to bring all that stuff home to give you an actual base, because remember, they still got the Fantastic Four that's coming. And where are the Fantastic Four based at? In the Baxter Building in New York City. So it's a lot of little sub stuff that they got to lay down.
I mean, I get it, and my thought process is, I don't see them wasting anything, right? I don't see them wasting anything. And if they introduced it, I know they introduced it for a purpose, right? They introduced it for a purpose, man. So we've literally covered all of our bases here. We've talked about Spider-Man: No Way Home. We've talked about definitely the Eternals. We've talked about Hawkeye. The last thing I really want to shed some light to and really want to talk about is the fact that we've moved all of the movies back in 2022.
Yeah.
What kind of Dame, go into that and tell me, why do you think they pushed everything back? I know they gave an official smooth reason, but why do you think they pushed everything back?
Oh man, I've been baffling about that, man. I don't really have a concrete idea, other than I think they probably just want to try to have a prolonged presence with the current properties that they have and not blow through them so fast. If my guess is correct, a lot of movies nowadays, they're hitting the movie theaters and they're like out within like less than 30 days. And I don't think Marvel wants to get in that trend like all the other movies. I think they want to be the ones that's bringing. Remember that whole thing that they did, that commercial?
Back to the movies.
Yeah. So I think that they want to be able to just milk their properties for as long as they possibly can and kind of give us that normalcy that we were used to for a film lasting, at least a month and a half, 2 months in the movie theater. So if they can do it, they can definitely put butts in the seats with their property. So that would be my take on it. I think that they also don't want to have their films interfering with the projects that they got coming to Disney Plus. I think they want to have that differentiation between those two properties. So if I was a betting man, that would be why I'm thinking, is that they want to give their projects longevity.
Now I'm gonna jump to G and Max on this, but I have to say this because I want G and Max to both chime in on what I said for different reasons. But I really feel like it's money. Dame hit it on the head. But I also feel like it's continuity. I feel like at this point, nobody except the hardcore heads are really stringing everything together, right? You
Big G.
gotta go back. You got Spider-Man. You got to think about this. You got Spider-Man Far From Home. Then you got WandaVision, right? Then after WandaVision, you have Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or Captain America and the Winter Soldier, right? Then after that, you had What If? Am I missing anything?
Loki.
Loki.
Well, you had Loki, then you had What If,
Falcon.
and then you had Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
And you had Black Widow. You had Black Widow too.
Black Widow and
No, we don't
Shang-Chi.
count that one.
And
We don't
Venom
count that
and
one.
Venom thrown up in there some kind of way.
So all right. So now you Venom, yes, that adds to my point. So now you have these world clashing, and I think in order to get continuity, you got to push everything back so that now you can look at everything from a whole and say, okay, this is how this connects to this. This is how this connects to this. This is how this connects to this. Because G said something, and I'm going to let G go. But G said it. He said, man, hey, Kevin Feige went in the room, closed the doors, and told everybody, shut up, right? Which is what he literally did. Like, y'all need to shut up.
Kevin Feige had one of them come to Jesus meetings, man. it got real ugly. It was what you call in the Italian culture, oh, sit down. That's what happened. There was some
that being
Said, offer you can't refuse.
Right.
That being said, G, what do you guys, UMX, what do you guys think about that continuity theory about them wanting to tie everything down? You go first, G.
No, I'm gonna toss it up to Max. I'm a volleyball tosser. Go, Max. Go.
Thank you, man. I feel like I've been getting the rookie treatment. I've been having to go last every time. I couldn't even make a point earlier because Amal wouldn't stop talking. But I want to say I like the continuity thing. I think you're right about that. But I also have this aspect. Do you know what other huge franchise Disney owns? Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Exactly. And what have we seen with Star Wars? They kind of oversaturated us with Star Wars movies. And I get like it's like a bigger thing. Like one Star Wars movie is like 3 MCU movies just with like all the story because there's no like little stories that add up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think what Disney's doing is they're taking a little bit of conservative. They took a year break with COVID, right? Nothing came out for like a year. And I think that helped. And I think they're kind of continuing. Let's take it slow. Let's build it up and we'll get everybody in. Because once you get into like 3 of these movies, then you got to be like, okay, well, I've seen 3 of them. What's 4? What's 5? But when you have the casual person, and there's nothing wrong with being casual Marvel person. My mom's a casual, but people like Big G gonna see everything. So I think they're just trying to not oversaturate us.
That is an excellent point, Max. That is an because
I'm not more than just a pretty face around here. You know, I needed to brighten up the place. Ahmad said with my boyish good looks, but now I finally get a word in.
Echo what you just said. They already had said that we're not going to see any Star Wars movies for years to come.
Good. They need to take a long break after they brought back the Emperor because I could have done that for cheaper than that. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, but listen. This the thing. I there's something real big behind this, man. So I'm waiting to see what the Disney's Investors Day meeting and show comes out with. Because I got the strangest feeling that they're going to drop some stuff about some stuff that they got in the making that we don't know anything about. And the reason why they stretch those days out is because they're going to plug stuff in between. I think that the new thing you're going to see with the Disney Plus versus having episodes or shows with 8, 9, 10 episodes, I think you're going to see short takes, man. 4 episodes, 5 episodes lead to the next thing. 4 episodes, 5, because they don't have time on big screens to give everybody like an intro, a backdrop, and an origin story. So I think what's going to happen is at that investors, like how they, because really to be honest, I'm still like hung over a little bit about the investors meeting that they had before. right? When they dropped all that stuff on us that day, that was like unbelievable, you know. And so it built up so much anticipation to this next thing. So now we're here. So what else can they do to like put the icing on top of the cake? Well, I think they spread it out because they're gonna drop little stuff in between, man.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm telling you what Max said, man. I mean, think about how much money they paid for Star Wars, man. So you're gonna pay all that money and let this property just go, you know, to shamble. So, and you already know they're gonna have the Book of Boba Fett. They're doing the Mandalorian season 3. They're doing the Osana Star Wars. They just announced Hayden Christensen is coming back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they got plans, man, for Star
Obi-Wan
Wars.
Kenobi too. Obi-Wan.
Exactly.
God,
yeah, man. That's what I'm saying.
It's your fault. I hate Obi-Wan. I hate him.
I do a good impression of Anakin, but I gotta save it. I got a question for Big G real quick.
Yeah, what's happening?
Are you outside?
No, it's cold in the basement, man.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know why you're wearing a beanie indoors. I didn't think you were a hipster.
Oh, man.
But
listen, it's 31 degrees in Ohio, man. It was snow, like baby frost and snow on the ground.
I thought your fire takes took care of that. Come on,
man. I don't know, but it's cold outside, and down in the basement, it's even colder, man. It's cold down around here.
Yeah,
too many space heaters, man.
With just some space heaters. But listen, we went over the world of marvelous talk, man, and even got into some Star Wars for you guys, man. Listen, everybody who's been blessed by the show, make sure you reach out. You give us a like and see us on Facebook, see us on YouTube. Give us a like, smash the like button.
Hey, before we go,
we appreciate you guys for hanging out.
Look at that. I don't like that. Why is Eternals got a 64% rating?
Isn't that? Well, can I say one more thing about Eternals that we should have talked about? Probably, I've heard one thing about this movie from everybody. The representation's great for LGBTQ. I don't know the acronym. I'm sorry, and I know we were supposed to be done, but I just whatever. that gays, lesbians, all that is great. They got the Indian actor. I think he's Indian, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know his name. Yeah, but I'm just gonna say this. Growing up, for me, being Middle Eastern, I didn't see a lot of representation in the shows I watched. Personally, I don't care because I'm just like, whatever. The best actor should get the job, right? Doesn't matter what race you are. But I realize in the world we live in, unfortunately, that's not the mantra people take, you know? So I think that's going to be really big for this movie.
Well, and just to kind of to get behind that, because you keep going with the Eternals, and he said the 64%, you got to, I think it was G, and it may have even been Max. You got a world build, man. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with Shang-Chi. You can't get upset about us world building. If we can't world build, you can't really get the gist of what's going on. And G said it eloquent earlier. You know, you're getting to see the past, you're getting to see the present, and you're going to get some looks into the future in the MCU in one movie. So of course they're going to have to spread out. It may even be long to develop in certain places, but you got to watch. That's why I feel like from the people that I heard, the content creators who I love, Straw Hat, Goofy, Everything Always. Man, I forget my guy. I'm just drawing a blank. There's about 3 of them that I love. Even Charlie. They're all sitting down saying, hey, man, look, this is going to be a movie that you're going to have to watch several different times to really get it, to catch the concept of it. The action is there. Everyone says the action is there. Everyone says that when the fight scenes is coming, it's good. But everyone all said, and to a person, said better than the action was the interaction with the character while they're fighting. They said that was the best thing. The interactions of the characters while they're fighting. And that's really what I want to see the movie for. I want to see how Angelina Jolie kind of connects with, Kit Harington. I want to see how they all mesh together as actors. They're great actors, but it's rare that you get a Harlem Nights. It's rare that you get a whole bunch of great actors in one movie and you're like, wow, that was good. It's rare that you get The Departed. Those movies don't come around a lot. Where you get great actors in one place and it's a good movie. So I'm definitely want to see that. And I don't pay attention to that 64 You know,
Nah.
I'm gonna give it my own. You know, I'm gonna give it my own.
But I think they on crack.
Yeah, Max probably sold it to him. So you know,
Hey, hey, come on, kids, say no to drugs. Don't say no to drugs, kids. I've never done drugs, so don't put that on me. I'm from California. Drugs were available to me.
Yeah,
I said no. I didn't even drink in high school. I was so great as a kid. Well,
Oh,
when I went to
wow.
college, though, I went downhill. I won't lie to y'all. I won't lie.
You know, it's funny when somebody bragging on themselves. I was great as a kid.
I mean, high
Okay.
school class of 2013 here, so you know it wasn't that far. I can kind of remember it.
Oh, you something else. Hey, Max, man, thank you for hanging out with us.
Absolutely,
We gotta
man.
have
Thank
you
y'all,
back.
man. Thank you guys.
We gotta
man.
have you back. We appreciate your knowledge here, and definitely from all of the people at Marvelous Talk, we love y'all. We'll holler at y'all later.
Later.